And welcome back into this playoff hockey night in Pittsburgh that's been missing one factor, and I'm proud to say that the piece that was missing is joining me right now on the line. It's none other than the Hall of Famer himself, Mike Lange. Mikey, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, Betts.
It's great to have you on board, and before we get into it, I think we have a couple cronies of ours waiting to say hello to you.
Could it be the fist pumper Phil Bork and the Gordy Gondola, Josh Getzoff?
It is Gordy in the 2-9er.
Oh my! How's the weather there? I understand it's below zero in that building.
Well, it's an absolute wind tunnel up here, but you know Gordy Gondola loves it up here as we hang over the ice surface, Mikey. And you know you love the spot up here calling games at the Nassau.
Oh, it's
great,
beautiful.
Mikey.
It is. And you get a good bird's eye view, and you can see everything, and it's fun to do games. Pretty good first period. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was not the best start for the Penguins, but it felt like they had their opportunities. I mean, they put 17 shots on goal. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, the pace was pretty good. Early on it didn't look too good. They scored in the first two shots. One of them negated, but I thought overall the Penguins, to me, still they forced the pace at times, and I think they still got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Mikey. I think you're right on. Before we get into it, I know that the million-dollar question everybody's asking is, how are you feeling? You sound great. We love having you on here. What's been going on? Are you hanging there?
Doing pretty well. I'm just trying to recover a little bit. Had a little bit of a setback and with some medicines and other things. So it's an on day-to-day type of situation, and hopefully I'll get back sooner than later, and I just got to go with what the body says and what the doctors prescribe. So we'll get there as soon as we can, with a good Lord willing, and hopefully get back in that booth and join everybody.
Yeah, it would be awesome to have you back. And I know you already just touched on it a little bit, but that first period of play, to me, it looked like the Penguins really need to focus on puck possession a little bit more and just making better decisions, because the Islanders seem like a team that's going to take full advantage, specifically in the neutral zone, if the team has those turnovers.
Yeah, I really, it was kind of a different period. I thought that the first 4 or 5 minutes that the Islanders took the pace and took it to the Penguins.
Yeah.
And, I thought the forward check was pretty good from them. When they get the cycle going, that's when it gets a little tough. And I thought the Penguins kind of solved that, worked through that part of it, and they thought they were the stronger team for about 8 or 9 minutes, and could not get the lead and go and get a second goal. And it just kind of opened the door. And then the power play comes into play. And as we all know, in the playoffs, I mean, they're so critical. Yeah, they've gone 3 for 50, but you put it in front of somebody and you leave somebody open in front, and bang, all of a sudden you're behind on one shot. So I liked a lot of things I saw from the Penguins, but they're going to have to play from behind now, so they're going to have to work even harder in an effort to get back and get even in this game.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do on the road. We are, of course, talking to the Hall of Fame broadcaster of the Penguins Radio Network, Mike Lange. Mikey, I also wanted to get your take here on the fact that it's Barry Trotz. The Penguins have run into him so many times in the playoffs now. He sort of had an elixir for beating them last year. He was able to take their power play out of the game. I know the personnel's different on the Islanders' side, but do you think that will play a big-time factor in how the Islanders are attacking the Penguins, just him taking out that little book of tricks that he's had from the past?
Well, he's a top-rate coach. I mean, he's done a great job, really, wherever he's been. He played with limited personnel, really, in Nashville for 15 years. He got a chance, and, he put some big numbers up in Washington. They got himself a cup, finally, last year. He knows how to design the game and a game plan, and he sticks with it, and they've done it all year. And the Penguins coach, Mike Sullivan, can match him, stride for stride. So this is one of the real matchups that we don't talk much about, Mets, is the coaching matchup between these two and how they approach it and what adjustments they make. And in the playoffs, adjustments are a big part of it. So I want to see if things change at all now in periods 2 and 3, see if the Penguins try and get any type of a different matchup and situations, and what they will approach the style here against Trotz. I mean, Mike said Sullivan's had pretty good success against him, so we're looking forward to some more hockey here and see what develops here the rest of the way.
And Mike, we only have about 30 seconds left here, but I wanted to get your take on the lineup that the Penguins employed tonight. Jack Johnson comes out, of course, Brian Dumoulin comes back in, and Zach Aston-Reese. Any surprise with that decision on the blue line?
No, and I think in fairness, Olimad is a 2-time Cup winner, and he's been a big part of the success the Penguins have had. I think in deference really to that respect is probably why Jack Johnson was moved out of the lineup tonight. That's my educated guess. Zach Aston-Reese adds you another possibility as a goal scorer. I thought he was I don't want to say tentative, but I thought he showed the effects of being off in that first period. But he'll get stronger as the game goes along, and should be able to participate at a higher rate. So, the Penguins want to employ 4 lines, so do the Islanders, and that's what the good matchup is. You got a 4-line team on both teams. Maybe with the Islanders, Cizikas using him even more so than what the Penguins do. And he's been up there against Crosby and all different lines, too, with Cizikas and Martin and Clutterbuck. So that's what I'm kind of keying in on and see how that develops.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Mikey, thanks so much for taking the time tonight. Get yourself well and get back soon in that booth where you belong. We're missing you.
All right, Metz, we miss you all, and we will get back just as soon as we can.
All right, well, we'll be looking for you. Thanks so much for this. That is Mike Lange, the Hall of Fame broadcaster of the Penguins Radio Network.